George, happy birthday. Your daughter is doing a fantastic job. She is absolutely unbeatable. I'm here with a lot of Congress.
Dude, look at him. Like, homie is, I know he's reading off a card, but look at his hat, dude. Trump was right about everything. He looks like shit, bro. He looks like he smoked some fucking, I don't know, some China White off J.D. Vance's nuts, dude. Jesus, bro. His eyes are slits, but the hat, bro. Trump was right about everything. Oh my God. Dude, Jesus.
Men and congresswomen, and they all love her. So happy birthday. She's doing a really great job. George,
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, that's not awkward at all.
Do you mind if I just ask you a few questions about things that Biden has done in his administration, and you can kind of give me your opinion on that? What did you think when Joe Biden suggested that COVID could be cured by shining a bright light inside the body?
It is very sad that Joe Biden is clearly a dementia patient.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
What do you think about Joe Biden saying that getting through the 80s without getting HIV was his own personal Vietnam?
Again, it's very sad, his mental capacity, and that is a very uneducated statement.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. These are not, I got my notes mixed up. Can I ask you this question? Can we start over and me ask you what? Okay. What did you think when Donald Trump suggested that COVID could be cured by shining a bright light into the body?
It depends what that technology is.
What did you?
That's a broad spectrum, because you have MRI machines,
Dude.
and CT machines, and infrared, and different things.
Dude.
So it just depends the context.
It fucking hurts me to watch that, bro. Like, bro. Oh, dude, that is painful, bro. Like, did she forget the question that she got asked just a minute before?
What did you think of Donald Trump saying that getting through the 80s without getting HIV was his own personal Vietnam? Dementia patient?
No, I don't believe that.
All due respect to women, and I love women, but this is a guy that was all man.
Oh my God.
This man was strong and tough. All due respect to
This is amazing.
women, but this guy.
Oh my God, dude, this is amazing because it is, dude. Trump was swooning for Arnold Palmer. Oh shit, that really puts it into perspective.
So data shows the most unhappy group of people are liberal women. I didn't know we need statistics or data to prove this. I thought we could simply look in any of my comment sections. Right above that.
Dude, again, she's so dumb, bro. The data says the unhappy people are liberal women. Dude, yeah, you seem real happy, Emily. You're so fucking happy when you talk about fucking slavery in Alabama and shit.
That is liberal men.
So there is actually research suggesting that people with lower cognitive ability or less awareness to more complex issues tend to report higher levels of happiness.
Yeah, see, when you think about that, it's true that what's interesting about it is a lot of it would come down to what is self-described as happiness. Because let's talk about something, because Kamala Harris, she used the word joy, and the Republicans hated that word. They hated the word joy. They did. Remember how they latched onto it and it seemed to like get them riled. And so why is that? Okay, because if you study any sort of Eastern discipline like meditation or anything, you learn about the sort of the happiness paradox. And what does that mean? That the idea of happiness is something that is like sold, and we're taught to be happy. Why can't you just be happy? Don't worry, be happy, chase happy, right? If you get successful, you'll be happy. Everyone on TV is so happy, right? And we develop this idea around happiness. Now, in the study, she was talking about how conservative women like are more happy than liberal women. What really is really interesting is that conservative women have this idea about happiness and being happy. Can't we all just be happy? Got to get the libs triggered. They live with this idea of, I'm happy. The trad wife, look at me. I have these kids. I'm so happy. And happiness is something that you can display on an Instagram photo. Just like patriotism is something you display standing up with your hat off, hand over heart at the big game. But the reality is when you look at liberal women, they're not about that let's pretend to be happy paradox. They're not trying to be happy, but they're the ones out there that are acknowledging the pain, looking at the pain of the world, but they're also more likely to experience their pain and their sadness, the full range of their feelings, and they're going to experience real joy. Now, when you look at a lot of Maga or these conservative people, they spend a lot of time like letting us know how happy they are, but they never actually experience any joy. They're fucking joyless. And that's why they get riled up when they see a gay kiss, or there's a transgender person using the bathroom, or there's a black mermaid, right? A black little mermaid, right? Because they don't actually experience joy. They're about happiness. And we saw this with the guy yesterday. He's in the video, that Maga guy who says, I'm smiling so hard that Trump won this election, but through the whole video, the guy never actually cracks a fucking smile. The guy is actually really serious, and he's even almost angry while he's talking about Trump getting fucking elected because he doesn't actually experience joy. So yes, if you ask conservative women, they are going to self-report happy, even if they're fucking never experiencing any joy. And that's what happens. That's why they spend so much time attacking people that try to put joy in their life. Because even though the conservatives will self-report being happy, oh, we're happy, they don't experience joy. They don't even know joy. Joy comes from living a life of empathy and compassion and connection. You experience joy only when you let in all that other pain and don't take this like moral high ground about it. It's fucking true, bro.
Voting Donald Trump, baby.
Dude, again, have you noticed that like all of the Trump people, every single one of them, like how do you identify Maga on the internet? You ready? We got bleach blonde hair. We got caked on foundation. We've got impeccably manicured nails, some sort of weird, goofy duck face or snarling. They think they're sexy doing some type of snarl. They're always standing in a kitchen with some giant like kitchen island, right? It's like the house is high ceilinged with a giant kitchen island. The house is, marble countertops. And then they're crying about the price of eggs while doing a TikTok with their $400 manicure and bleach blonde hair. It is like the same every time, bro. It's like the whole fan base is one fucking thing. And they're wearing a cross. They're voting for a racist while wearing a cross, but it's the same shit, dude.
You better bet we are absolutely going to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I was so fired up watching the press conference.
See, look at these idiots. Like, when you think about this, like, look at Benny Johnson. We know Benny's a fucking MAGA cuck. And, I mean, look at him, though. He's so phony. Dude, they're so phony, right? They're so performative. They're like the worst reality TV actors in the worst reality TV show. They're sitting here like talking about funding the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico. Like, who fucking cares, bro? But again, that's their performative nonsense. That's like these assholes. They think because they go to a Trump rally and they're wearing Trump's face on their fucking butthole, that means they're patriots, right? It's all performative nonsense.
We are absolutely going to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I was so fired up watching the press conference today.
Who cares?
When President Trump said that he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. that I directed my ledge staff to immediately draft legislation to officially change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And Congress has to do this because we have to fund the name change in maps. We have to fund the name change through all types of, like the military, FAA, et cetera. And it's absolutely the right thing to do. You better.
Dude, but you know what's so funny, though? What's crazy about this is, like, how I don't understand. I'm trying to get in the mind of Benny Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's probably just getting paid. So what he really likes is not the work he's doing. He likes the money. But, or maybe he likes the work, but to like sit and listen to somebody like her, like she is fucking brain dead. And I mean, even in this statement, she's just like, she is brain dead. And can you imagine sitting down with somebody that is that fucking brain dead and having to pretend like they're being smart and competent? Like, like what are we even doing?
I think a lot of the corporate world is like pretty culturally neutered. The kind of masculine energy I think is good. And obviously, society has plenty of that, but I think corporate culture was really like trying to get away from it.
Dude, what does it even mean? I've seen this quote all over the place. And like, what is he even talking about? Like, the thing that I wonder is, does he think he possesses any masculine energy? Because he is about the least masculine fucking human being I've ever seen in my life. With his little purchased hair and his locket around his neck. Like, he is trying so hard. But this guy is just a fucking effeminate nerd. And like, he won't embrace it. You know what I mean? He should put on a fucking dress, bro. And just be free. Like Harry Styles. And sit down with a comic book and whatever. But he has no fucking clue. But he's now, I don't know, he went in and decided to get the John Holmes 70s porn star haircut with some plugs. And now he's like, oh shit, I'm going to try to like be, masculine. But like, what is even this idea of masculine energy? What does that mean? He wants the guys to be able to slap the butts of the women at work? Like, that's really what they want. When they say this, they want masculine energy, which means dudes can be douchebags and nobody will complain about it. Because that's the way it was. That's the way it was in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, is men could go and just be total fucking degenerates and everybody would allow it. And there would be no respect for anybody who wasn't a degenerate.
And I do think that there's just something, it's like, I don't know, all these forms of energy are good. And I think having a culture that...
And he's trying to like spoon feed this to Rogan's audience, which are dudes that are like, yeah, oh yeah, I want to like swing my nuts around and ask her what color her vagina is. And oh yeah, and then everybody's going to high five me. Oh, it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Like celebrates the aggression a bit more, has its own merits that are really positive. It's one thing to say we want to be kind of like welcoming and make a good environment for everyone. And I think it's another to basically say that masculinity is bad.
See, I don't think masculinity is bad, guys. I really don't. I do believe aggression is bad. Aggression is, well, no, let me rephrase that. All right. I'm going to rephrase that because I was wrong. But you ready? Here, I'm going to one up. Okay. Masculinity is not bad. Nobody has ever said masculinity is bad. I don't think that was ever the message. And I don't even think aggression is bad. There are times when aggression is actually super useful. But what I will say is this. I will say that 99 times out of 100, aggression is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Like, aggression should be the very, very last tool, right? There should be 127 tools that you use before you use aggression. Aggression should be a last resort, and aggression should be a only when it is absolutely positively all the other tools have failed. And now we must use aggression. Or sometimes aggression may need to be the first tool, but that's only when there's an active threat of some kind. And then aggression is required. Aggression can be used for an active threat, but in most instances in the workplace, it's just not necessary. Aggression is necessary when you're taking away civil rights, when you're being conquered, or you're being attacked, actually attacked, or when people are being attacked and you're preventing them from being attacked. But otherwise, in most instances, aggression is unnecessary. Like when you're talking to a woman, aggression is unnecessary. When you're on a date, aggression is unnecessary. When you're trying to get something out of someone, aggression is totally unnecessary. There are just so many ways. And like a lot of the toxic masculinity is when there's misplaced aggression. When aggression is not happening because it's necessary, but aggression is happening because, say, a man is unaware of his feelings. Okay, that's really at the root of this toxic masculinity. When I'm being aggressive with my wife, not because it's necessary, but I'm being aggressive with her because I'm hurt because of what somebody said at work. Or I'm going to work and I'm a boss being aggressive with my employee, not because aggression is required, but because I'm actually hurt because of what my boss said to me earlier that day, or because my wife said something to me earlier, or I failed at my job. And now I'm taking that aggression from that hurt and I'm directing it at my employees, or I'm turning that hurt that I didn't talk about or deal with into sexual aggression that I'm now aiming at my secretary. See, that's where we get problematic with that toxic masculinity, because toxic masculinity is usually aggression or control or some type of unnecessary emotional response that's really stemming from men who are hurt, or they're sad, or they're scared, or they're feeling lonely. And instead of them becoming evolved enough to be able to acknowledge and admit those things and deal with those feelings head on, those things get turned into unnecessary aggression. And we see this play out with like Donald Trump and his lashing out, the way he attacks, because he's suppressing all these feelings of inferiority. And then he's going out and taking that out on other human beings.
And I just think we kind of swung culturally to that part of the kind of the spectrum where, you know, it's all like, okay, masculinity is toxic. We have to.
No, it's not. The masculinity, the toxic masculinity that I just spoke of is toxic. And you ready? It's bad for men. Toxic masculinity, like the shit Andrew Tate is selling. You look at Andrew Tate, he's not healthy. That guy's up, bro. That guy is not healthy. That guy doesn't even experience joy, bro. He's like so like fight or flight. Like that man is like just whacked out. Toxic masculinity is not just bad for women and kids and business partners. It's bad for men. It's bad for us. It's why men's suicide rate is higher than women's. It's why men abuse each other so often. It's why men like Dana White hit their wives. It's like why men like Trump keep women.
Like get rid of it completely. It's like, no, like it's both of these things are good, right? It's like you want like feminine energy, you want masculine energy. Like I think that's like you're gonna have parts of society that have more of one or the other. I think that's all good, but I do think the corporate culture sort of had swung towards being this somewhat more neutered thing.
Neutered.
Just I think
I will say this though. I'm gonna give him one thing here. You ready? Is when I hear the word neutered, this is exactly what I think. Right? I mean, you gotta hand him that. When you hear the word neutered, if you think of Mark Zuckerberg, it's like, yeah, man, that is exactly, dude, this is the look.